Hi, welcome to Pre-Calculus. This is Unit 1, Lesson 11. We are continuing working on our inverse functions. So for our think about it, you're given data, right? You guys can read this, pause the video and read this if you want. But you're asked to sketch out a rough graph of this hiker's elevation over time. One thing to realize this is that this is your input here and this is your output. X is your input, Y is your output, right? So I'm gonna let X be my input, which represents our time in hours. I just drew it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then my elevation, I started from 11,000 up until 15,000, marked all those points respectively, and just connected the graph, right? For 2, they're asking, can the hiker's elevation be considered a function? Why or why not? In order for something to be a function, each input should map to exactly one output, right? So 0 maps to 11,629, 1 maps to 11,900, and so on. They all map to one output. So yes, each input has one output, maps onto exactly one output. So I'm just going to say exactly one output, I just want to make sure. But yeah, for the next one, suppose that we wanted to find the inverse. For A, identify the input and output here. When you talk about inverse, right? This is your input, this is your output. But when you inverse it, your input becomes the elevation and your output becomes the time. You flip them, right? Input elevation, output time. B, estimate the time at which the hiker was at an elevation of 10,500 feet, or explain why this is not possible. Where I said not possible because the data that we have here, they're all above 11K or 11,500 feet. So we cannot predict when the hiker was at an elevation of 10,500 feet. So not in the domain. Domain is your x values here, your inverse function, right? This is not in your domain anymore, 10,500. Okay, explain how can you use the graph to estimate at which the time the hiker was halfway up the mountain, which was 12,978. Well, think about it. 12,978 lies between 11,900 and 13,600. Also, it also lies between 14,066 and 12,619. So it happens twice. Your 12,978 happens twice, between 1 and 2.5 and 4 and 5 hours. Now, last question. Is the inverse relation a function? If so, or if not, how do you know? I'm saying no because let's look at this table again and redefine, let's re-understand what the function is. In order for something to be a function, each input should map to exactly one output. Here, because it's an inverse function, this is your input for m squared half of inverse, right? Look at this, 11,629 maps onto 0 and 5.5. So it has two different outputs, so it cannot be a function. That's all for this video, that's all. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Use my office hours, But yeah, you should, that's all. Have a great day.